Right, so you probably heard of the Pomodoro method, and for me, using the Pomodoro method is one of the best tools I use to get more things done in a short amount of time. But if you don't use it the right way, it can make you lose focus, interrupt your flow, and just be overall unproductive. So in this video, we're gonna be breaking down what is a Pomodoro method, why it might not work for you, and what you can do instead. Now, the Pomodoro method is where you do 25 minutes of studying and then you take a 5-minute break, so that's one Pomodoro session. And then you repeat that 4 times, and then you take a longer break, say 20 to 30 minutes, and then after that you repeat the cycle of sessions. So when you're using the Pomodoro, it creates a sort of time pressure which leads to a higher chance that you achieve the goals that you set out to do during the study session. Now, the problem with Pomodoro, however, is that it can mess up your work or study flow. And flow is something that we want to achieve when we're studying. And if you experienced flow before, you know how it feels. And it's that mental state where you're in the zone or fully immersed in what you're doing and you're actually enjoying it. And when I'm in a flow state, I lose sense of time and I understand and remember everything that I'm currently reading. And to get into this state of flow will require more than the 25 minutes that we set out for a single Pomodoro session. And what happens when we strictly follow the 25 minutes of focus and then take a 5-minute break is that we stop ourselves from ever reaching that point of when we're just about to enter that state of flow. And that means we may never reach the flow state. And if we do reach it earlier than usual, we will get pulled out of this state by the 5-minute break or some other distraction. But don't worry, because I myself don't reach the flow state every single time I'm studying. But I think having a rigid schedule for stopping or taking a break will make it even more difficult for me to get into that state of flow. Now, the structure of the Pomodoro is just arbitrary, and you don't have to stick with a 25 minutes of focus session and then take a 5-minute break. You can actually personalize your study to fit what works for you. For some people, what works for them is 50 minutes of study and then 10-minute break, or 55 minutes of study and then a 5-minute break. It actually doesn't matter. What matters is that you're comfortable with the duration of your study session and breaks, and that you get things done in that time period. Now, aside from the Pomodoro focus session itself, the breaks in between are also important, because some people use the Pomodoro breaks to access social media and scroll through Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. The problem with that is that it creates a sort of mental residue, so that when it's time to go back to the study session, you will be slow to get back to the rhythm or momentum of studying again. And you're spending time and energy trying to recover that focus. Instead, what you can do during breaks is to just stand up from your seat or stretch out and take a stroll around your room, and while you're doing that, you're still thinking of what you just studied. You can maybe go through your study schedule and revise your goals for the next session, and adding or removing some of it to make it more realistic. Because if you set too ambitious goals, you might get frustrated if you don't achieve them. But on the other hand, if you set your goals too low, it's easy to slack off and get distracted. If you want some study with me videos where I'm not using the Pomodoro method and I took no breaks because I think taking breaks will mess up with my study flow, check out this one right here, which is where I studied for 10 hours straight. Now, thank you so much for watching, and do hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and see you in the next video. Bye.